So what is buyer intent? So for anybody who is not aware of what is buyer intent, let me explain that in a very simple language. So buyer intent has two words. One is the intent and the other is buyer. Okay. That means whenever you try to buy anything, whenever a buyer is trying to buy anything, that person should have an intent of buying it, right? If I want to buy a pencil, I need to have that intent to buy the pencil. If I want to buy a shoes, I need to have an intent to buy a shoes. For example, I want to buy some premium boots, I like boots and I want to buy some premium boots, and those kind of boots are not available offline. It's not like I can go to the mall and find those boots. So those are funky boots, like a custom made boots which are only sold by certain players, and I can only buy it, say, for example, online, right? There are only a few players who are selling it online. So the first thing is that I should have an intent to buy those kind of boots. And if I have that intent, then I will do something online, right? I will do something, I'll do certain actions online. Okay, so then my buyer's intent, my intent of buying, I will send some signals. And based on the signal, if there are companies who can catch those signals, they can reach out to me and sell those boots, right? So buyer intent is there, irrespective of whether the buyer wants to buy online or offline, it doesn't really matter. But with online data and with so many different aggregators and the online data being provided, now we can get the buyer intent signal data very accurately, to a large extent. Okay. So what is buyer intent? So when a company or individual is actively looking for a solution, okay, and that means they are sending out intent signals everywhere. They might be doing something. They might be going to Google doing some search. They might be going to social media doing something. They might be, searching for an e-commerce application, going to Amazon, finding something in Amazon store, stuff like those. They might be doing a bunch of stuff online. And if those can be tracked, okay, and if those data can be collected, and then, and those signals can be collected in real time by those companies who are providing those solutions, then that data is super helpful in terms of, doing the sales. So what we're going to talk about in this particular webinar is purely from the B2B angle. We're not going to cover B2C or e-commerce, even though I just took an example of e-commerce like Amazon store and others. But for this webinar, the whole subject is only going to be in B2B and that to large B2B enterprise solutions and like so on. Okay. So the idea is to predict the purchase behavior based on digital action. That's the bottom line. So there are certain digital actions that the buyers are sending in terms of signals, and that's a purchase behavior. And if you can predict it and if you can capture it, then you can work on that data, and then you can, reach out to those buyers and sell your product and solutions. Okay, so that is what buyer intent data is. Okay.